orally transmitted teachings Owarangi Kuden on Buddhism Lesson 10 Bodhisattvas, Female Bodhisattvas on Earth, Kosen Rufu Part 2, Kosen Rufu. What is Kosen Rufu? The Venerable Shakyamuni, in the Lotus and Nirvana Sutras, entrusted propagation of the correct law to his disciples called Bodhisattvas and female Bodhisattvas on Earth. This means that Mappo is the era of Kosen Rufu. The notional approach of Kosen Rufu in the broad sense, Lotus Sensu, the human revolution in the broad sense, Lotus Sensu, Kosen Rufu refers to the practice of orthodox Buddhism. In other words, adherence to the Lotus Sutra and its depositary in this southern continent, Jambudvipa, planet Earth, the Soka Gakkai, followed by unceasing efforts on the path of faith, practice and study such that a profound inner change leads to Buddhahood. This typology of Kosen Rufu corresponds to the concept of human revolution developed by Presidents Toda and Ikeda. The main idea of the human revolution is that the qualitative transformation of a person necessarily leads to that of society. In the strict sense, stricto sensu, a Japanese term literally meaning to teach and spread Buddhism widely. Therefore, Kosen Rufu refers to the activities that are undertaken with a view to the wide dissemination of Buddhism. For example, leading zadante, discussion meetings, making Buddhist publications, giving lectures, courses on Buddhism. The movement of Kosen Rufu before Mappo during pre-Shoho era. During this period, that is, before the advent of the Buddha, in this world, the Kosen Rufu movement resembled much more the concept of human revolution mentioned above. During Shoho era. During this period, that is to say, from the advent of the Buddha in this world until 1,000 years later, the movement of Kosen Rufu is characterized by a Buddhism with a societal face. Monks and laity lived in society and rubbed shoulders. The spread of Buddhism concerned the masses. Millions upon millions of people were converted to Buddhism. In Zoho era. During this period, which lasted 1,000 years, the Lotus Sutra triumphed. The movement of Kosen Rufu, in fact, took place around the Lotus Sutra, whether in China with Jiante, Nanyu, Miale, or in Japan with Dengyo. The right age for Kosen Rufu in the Sutra of the Great Collection, the auspicious moment of Kosen Rufu, is specified. This precision is confirmed by the Daishonin. The details of the Sutra of the Great Collection. When the Buddha's teachings are really obscure and lost, then ordinary beings will all let their beards and hair grow and their nails, and the laws of the world will be forgotten and ignored. The whole world will set in motion as if driven by the wheel of a watermill. The walls of the cities will crack and fall, and the 10 evil deeds will spread more and more, especially those based on greed, hatred, and ignorance. The Buddha teaches us here that Mappo will be a bad age, a period in which the 7 disasters that the Buddha evokes and comments on in the Sutra of the Benevolent Kings will occur. Nichiren Daishonin's confirmation, the treatise on the pacification of the country, the whole world, through the establishment of the law, Risho Onkoku Ron, one of the 5 most important writings of the Daishonin, is undoubtedly the most expressive gosho about the era in which we live, namely Mappo. And that only a strong belief in the Lotus Sutra can save us. You will be able to deepen this theme further through my sutras or writings of a Buddha, available on Amazon.fr for the original version and Amazon.com for the English version, in paperback and Kindle book editions, as well as on other Amazon sales sites.